Rob Welch with the MP58 Hillclimb, a much later designed Hillclimb. This particular car, in fact, right up to the latest specs, will be developing them every year. Sometimes only minor changes, sometimes some major ones. Through the kennel, nicely in the middle of the road, staying in the middle of the road through the crossings, a little bit close to the left-hand bank there, drifting it out, but staying on the crown of that road, through the kink, using all the road, absolutely flat, through the bottom bend there, in through the top, close to the left-hand bank, and along the straight. And a nice climb, time 28.31, just a bit slower than Robinson. Another of the MP43s, this time it's David Grace, sharing the car with Robinson. Chock underneath the back wheel. There used to be a hockey stick underneath the front wheel. There isn't any longer. It's a raise that they break. Believe you me, the man who held that stick sometimes had a pretty tough time. You will see a little strut sticking up on the front of the car. It's known as the Burt strut. It breaks the timing beam. It was named after Patsy Burt, the famous female Hillclimb driver of the 50s and early 60s. He's away. In through the kennels. Between the two bends. Round the crossing. And hard up now. Bottom S. In and out of the bottom S. Top S, out comes the tail, very close to the bank there, almost clouted it with the back wheel. And full acceleration, a 27.58, so that's the quickest time we've had so far. The Roman now with Rob Turnbull aboard, the man who returned to hill climbing after a break, and Ray Rowan doing the work there, helping the car to the line. Nowadays, drivers often share. It helps to cut the cost of what now are becoming quite expensive cars. Spin the wheels, get some heat into the tyres. They basically use circuit tyres, but a much softer compound to use for circuit racing because they want to get as much heat as possible. And Rowan, a worried man, as the Roman about to take off the line, like now, any second. Get the red just right, and he's away. A bit of a wheel spin on the concrete there before they get onto the tarmac. Up a gear before he comes out of the kennel. Back off slightly for the crossing. And up another gear here. And then down into the bottom S. Last acceleration between the two. Again a bit close to the bank there, but safely up the finishing straight. 27.95 for Turnbull. Now Martin Griffiths, perhaps one of the most experienced competitors around. The record, incidentally, still standing to Alistair Douglas Osborne, who, though retired, is threatening to come back with another Hillclimb with the DFB engine. Brought out in those days to 4 litres, but this, of course, is the Hart engine. And Griffiths trying to make up for the lack of capacity, the lack of torque on a power hill. Tail out a little bit, corrected nicely. Out of that top S. Wicked weave from the tail end there. Maximum revs, 28.16 for Martin Griffiths. Tim Thompson with the later car. There was an exchange of cars between the Griffiths and the Thompson setup early on this year. Father Jim Thompson often shares this car, always a couple of seconds or so slower than his sons nowadays, but a long-time competitor, and a man who's done a lot for hill climbing, and of course a sponsor of the Hillclimb Championship, very much a force on that side too. Away goes Tim Thompson. Through the kennel bend, nicely in the centre of the road, into the crossing. You notice the car rolling just a little bit there. He's running the car softer than some drivers do. Bottom S, up comes the front, out of the top S. He had to back off a little bit there, lost him some time. And that car just a little bit soft, but nevertheless a 27.13. Why soft? Well, plenty of feel. You get more feel that way of the car breaking away. So away goes Chris Dowson. 5-litre Repco engine. Once belonged to Jack Brabham, the car ex-Alistair Douglas Osborne. The engine in the hands of Mike McDowell took the Hillclimb Championship many years ago, as won it, of course, in Charles Wardle's hands in this car. Dowson through the top S, blasting all the way up to the finishing straight, and under the banner now with a 27.44. Dave Harris now with his MP58 Hillclimb. The big Cosworth engine. ADO, Douglas Osborne, was the first man to run with a 4-litre Cosworth, but now a lot of people turning to this as opposed to the Hart engine. And a return, as we said, to hill climbing, as far as this man's concerned. But Harris out through the top S now, very close to the bank there, almost taking it with him. Huge tires, getting the power down at 26.55. And now this is Ray Rowan with the Roman. Small unit, remember, a more nimble car, at its best on some of the more nimble hills, but Shelsley is very much a power hill. Through those bottom bends, you can lose time if you don't drift it, but through those top bends, you need all the torque in the world. In through the kennel, using all the road, close to the bank, but keeping the power well on. Classic line through the crossing. Hard between those two bends, bottom S, brake change down. Up between the two bends, through the top S, slides, hits the bank. Up comes that cloud of dust, but it's a dry day, no harm done. Up a gear and along that finishing straight, 27.40 the time. And now Roy Lane. Roy Lane with a Pilbeam. With a technical lane, probably the eldest of all the Hill Climb Championship competitors who are really there. An ex-champion himself and very determined to take that championship again. The latest Pilbeam chassis. The time to beat as far as he's concerned is Dave Harris's 26.55. And he spins it at the bottom S. But that's just the first run. But in the second runs, misfortune hits a number of drivers. Here, the Roman in trouble. Turnbull at the wheel has got a collapsed Rose joint, and he has to make his way limping to the top, out of the competition, and not giving Rowan a chance to improve either. There were some improvements. Dowson down to 27.44. Harris's time safe at the moment. A problem here for Rob Welsh, which reduces his time as well. So with one run to go, all the pressure in the world then on Roy Lane. Roy Lane with the Pilbeam, waiting for the green light. He'll choose his time to go. He's chosen it, he's away. A beautiful start. This could well be a record-breaking climb, let alone anything else. Out through that kennel, into the crossing. Through the left-hand kick now, and into the bottom S where he lost it before. Gets it right this time between the two bends. Through the top S, close to the bank but doesn't touch it. And now up that finishing straight. Flat out, through that timing beam, under the banner, at 26.50 for fastest time of day. Ahead of Harris, Thompson, Rowan, Dowson and Grace. Roy Lane snatches their victory, literally at the last moment in the last climb.